Section 3, Hops. Objectives: learning to identify hops and the characteristics they bring to a beer. Before we begin, click the link at the bottom of the page for the Hop Flavors Tasting Wheel. All right, we have learned a little bit about malt. Now let's learn a little about what stops that sweet, sticky oatmeal water from going off. It's the hops. When that oatmeal water is being boiled, a brewmaster will add the hops. It adds bitters and a natural preservative. Hops have a variety of flavors. Take a look at the hops section of the tasting sheet. These are some of the flavors and aromas that hops can bring alongside their bittering quality. Now the 3 beers we're going to taste will give you examples of how hops can be used. The Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is going to give you a number of aromas, and that's a great place to start. Consider how it balances with the malt flavors. Are the hops at the forefront of the taste, or are they hidden behind the malt? I'm going to let you decide, but I think we all know the answer in this one. Now the next 2 beers are really going to help us identify the hops. So open up the Keith's and your locally brewed IPA. IPAs are considered the hoppiest of beers and are measured in IBUs, or International Bitterness Units. Now it doesn't really matter about the scale, but I can tell you that anything above 30 might be considered an IPA. One of these has 27 and still calls itself an IPA. That would be the Keith's. It's become a bit of an arms race among the microbrewery industry, each one trying to out-hop the other a lot of times. But hops will also add fragrance. Have a look at the Hop Flavors Tasting Wheel and consider what flavors that you can discern. Now remember how we boiled that oatmeal or wort? To get the hop flavor into the beer, we boil the hops along with the wort. If we just want an aroma, we add the hops after the boiling is done. So this is called dry hopping. We just sprinkle the hops on top of the beer and let it rest. It contributes to the aroma. So smell these 3 beers again and take a look at the tasting sheet. What do you smell? And do you also taste it? If you taste it and don't smell it, it was boiled. If you smell it but don't taste it, it was added later. Do you get hints of citrus or pine? Those are very common in hops. Some of the pairings you can think about with hoppier beers will like lighter proteins. Fish or chicken work well. Hops also do a great job of cutting the greasy mouthfeel of fried foods. Imagine fish and chips and see if it goes well with your Sierra Nevada IPA. Now a lightly hopped beer, like a lager or a pilsner, will also wash down salty foods. And we're back to our pretzels. Have a taste of your beers and mark them out on the tasting sheet, because we're going to begin to build a repertoire of what we know and what we can taste. And I will see you in the next unit.